Okay, everyone. Before we start, let's have a little activity. So imagine you met an air crush, and there are 6 people on the plane. The first one is an entrepreneur who got a lot of employees, and the second one is a beautiful college girl whose part-time job is a model. And third is a monk. The fourth is a father with 2 kids, and finally is yourself. But you only have 2 parachutes on the plane. So who will you give it to?
Myself.
This is selfish, guys. You have to choose 2, and orders matter.
A father with 2 kids.
B and E.
D.
Okay, so you can see
a boyfriend.
everyone has different choices, in this activity, actually, the people who has the same choices will flock together and form a group, and then your group go meet another group, and then you try to convey your concept and convince each other. So it's obvious that this activity is trying to teach us the persuasion skills. However, as for me, through this game, I learned a hidden lesson. I remember when we are playing this game, a boy said, "I choose to save no one, because I believe we don't have the right to decide whether others can be alive or not." At the moment, I was shocked, because he did not choose any of the choices above. And that's when I learned my first lesson in my leadership camp, to break the frame. So, for the following presentation, I'm going to tell you what else did I pick up in my leadership camp, and I'll start with the importance of responsibility and the importance of feedback and the importance of recording every moment. Then I'll tell you some of my unforgettable memories, a sentence that impressed me a lot, and finally my conclusion. Now let's get started. First is about the responsibility. In this camp, the most terrible but also worthy memory is the camp journal. Basically, we need to hand in 10 pictures, 7 for group photos, and 3 for creative photos like that. Second, we have to give the feedback of the day, and it's among 150 to 200 words. Third, they will give us a topic of the day, such as say hi or time machine, and we have to make a film related to the topic. It seemed not very difficult, right? But what makes it ridiculous is that the font size, the row height, and the form of your photos, your film, and your file, your document, the number of the people in a picture, and the name of everything should be exactly the same as the rules. Exactly the same. I'm going to share you with my own experience. So, for the first day, when we are saving our document, we found out that our form is DOCX. We did notice that the rule said it won't DOC. But we thought that if the content is the same, maybe it won't matter that much. But in fact, what we got is a code answer called Group 4 did not pass. It's lucky for us to know exactly where our problems are, but usually they will just tell you didn't pass, and they won't tell you where is your problem. What's more ridiculous is that everything is due at 10 p.m. And if you did not hand in your camp journal before that, your camp journal the next day will be like this. And everyone will know you didn't finish your tasks on the time, which is really embarrassing. So that's why we got a lot of pressure from this camp journal. But we also learned a lot from this, because it tells us that no one has the time to wait for you, and no one has the obligation to teach you and tell you where is the problem. Also, no one has the necessity to tolerate your mistakes. So, if you want to be a leader, it's just a basic requirement, and you must focus on this. Second, I'm going to talk about the importance of feedback. Instead of the lessons like communication and cooperation, this typical lessons that we think must be a leadership skill lesson. Actually, we spend a lot of time going to the healthcare center, and we even go to a farm to learn about the drones that can help around. And also we go to the Department of Agriculture to learn about the issue they are facing. But we will be confused, because this does not really related to the leadership camp, right? And not only me, but I also hear a lot of people were asking themselves, what am I doing here? But I got my answer from one of my teachers' reward in my homework. She said, our most important duty is to feed back to the society. And the higher position you got, the more you should do. But what if you don't know what the society needs? If you don't know what they need, how can you help? And I think that's why the teachers scheduled all these lessons for us, because it's a leadership camp, and they may expect it that we may be the people who will be in a higher position in the future. So if we can be acknowledged and we can be aware of these issues, maybe we will do good to the society in the future. So that's how I think why the teacher will give us this kind of lessons. Next is the importance of recording the memories of every moment. And when I was doing this presentation, of course I have to look back to all my homework and the information I got in the camp. Actually, when I was reading my homework, I even doubt did that really come out from me? Because I couldn't even remember them. This homework is actually a great big blank waiting for you after a long tiring day. And there will be questions on it. Usually ask us to criticize for the lessons we heard in the morning, or find out a solution for the problem. And when I read through them, I deeply realized that if you did not write down your feedback at the moment, or you did not record them right at that time, you will easily forget about it. And that's a pity, because all these things, your ideas, your words, and your thoughts were all really important, and so I think everyone should try to make it a habit to write down everything you think is worthy. Next, I'm going to talk about some unforgettable memories in the camp. Different from other camps, actually we did get a lot of freedom in this camp. And every night when we went back to the hotel, we will go to the night market just next to the hotel to buy the snacks. Because remember that we have camp journal and a lot of homework to do, and that feels miserable after a long tiring day. So we try to seek comfort from the food. That's why instant noodles, homework, and drinks will be my memories of the night. But there's my unforgettable experience is that we have the camp journal to check. So we were left 2 people at the hotel, and others go buy the food for everyone. And one day, the group members staying in the hotel called us and told us that there is some problem with our camp journal. And I remember it's about 9:40, but it's due on 10, right? So we had no choice but to rush back to the hotel. At that time, we were really nervous and anxious that what if we can't finish our camp journal? And I remember my heart thumping, and finally, luckily, we finished it and uploaded on 9:58. So that's why this is the most unforgettable memory in my camp. Next, I'm going to share you with an impressive sentence I heard in the camp. It's, as a leader, even though you don't have a certain answer, you have to make the decision. Actually, for me, I am not a very decisive person. If I don't know which decision will be the